Welcome back to Central News. I'm Janelle Burnside. Now, we've always been made aware of the impact that disposable nappies have had on our environment, but now we're simply just immune to the message, or that there are no other options to think about. Well, we've got a nappy expert on the show today. Her name's Kate Meads. Welcome to the show, Kate.
Hi.
Now, disposable nappies and their environment, we all know the argument. You know, they take up space in the landfills, that it's not good. Are there other issues?
There's many issues around the disposable nappies. And it's certainly not, doesn't stop at landfill, but it can affect many other places in our environment, in that the manufacturing process of a disposable, right from start to finish, and then the disposal of it. So sometimes, like, the disposal goes into the landfill, but doesn't help the people that leave them at the camping grounds and things like that for everybody else to share. But there's also, I mean, there's many studies about the effects on children and the environment, and there's so many.
Because do you know what? I did a little bit of research on this, and it's not just the fact that they're taking up space in landfills, they're actually spreading diseases as well, isn't there? Because it's not just the nappy, it's also what's in it, isn't it? You know, which isn't very nice to think about. But rats are getting in there, dogs are getting in there, spreading disease.
And, well, yeah, and who could know? I don't know exactly how big this problem could be, but it's not something that's really been researched as far as we can tell, or that I know of. But it's certainly a valid point that when the babies, like especially immunised babies, as far as I've seen, once they're immunised, that virus is live in their faecal matter for some time in the nappy, and if it's not disposed of in the sewage system, then you would assume that it's still sitting in the nappy, and it could get into streams or things like that in surrounding areas where it's left. So
yeah,
the impacts, yeah.
It's growing, isn't it? So tell me, why do people choose disposables then, when you have got so many different options with cloth nappies? Just
because they're educated into the fact that disposables are convenient, and that life is convenient, or life is busy, so you want convenience. So I think a lot of people have forgotten a lot of traditional values surrounding many products, not just nappies, but they actually are educated into, like, life is easier with disposable nappies. You don't take up, one thing that I saw recently was, like, you know, you take up time with your family if you use cloth nappies. And I thought, well, that's mad, because when all you're talking about is mum hanging out a load of washing, and all she's got to do is walk out to the line. The baby's asleep normally. It's not like you're doing it when the baby or family's needing you. So it's sort of, yeah, it's just that it's like a false sense of convenience in some ways.
Now, I have heard horror stories, you know, of the fact of the nappy bucket, that you actually have to soak cloth in nappies. And is this a reality? You know, is there dangers involved with having cloth nappies?
Well, not nowadays.
No, okay.
No, because you don't have a bucket of water sitting around waiting for, like, your baby to get into. So no, they're all dry. Like, everything's sort of a dry up until the time that you wash the nappy. So the nappies are just stored in a dry bucket and then washed like your clothes. Oh, okay, so you don't need to soak or get rid of stains. Now, we have got a couple of examples of nappies in here, and it's really interesting. They feel really soft. Are they comfortable, though, for kids? Well, absolutely. You feel the fabric inside of there and compare, like, how would you feel sitting in a nappy with bamboo against your skin as opposed to paper against your skin?
Do you know what that is? That's it just feels like you're sitting on a cushion. Yeah. You know, I'm sure any baby would like to know they're just sitting on a cushion all day. That feels fantastic. But, I mean, what about nappy rash? Is this going to be safer for our children rather than disposables? Well,
there's this whole myth around nappy rash, and there's been a lot of study at Bristol University about nappy rash.
Yeah.
And they found that there's no more likelihood of a baby in cloth nappies as to disposables to get nappy rash. The issue is, and a lot of parents don't understand, the nappy rash is more likely to happen if the baby's left in a wet nappy and then passes a solid motion into the nappy. The reaction between those two is more likely to cause nappy rash. So as long as you're frequently changing your baby, then your baby shouldn't have any more episodes of nappy rash than if you're using disposables.
So cloth nappies are fine, aren't they? And I know you've got a couple of workshops coming up.
I have. The Nappy Alliance, actually, we're running workshops in Hamilton in association with the council, and the council has funded local families into a trial pack of cloth nappies. we're running the next tour on the 25th and 26th of September, which is next week, and they're running one in the evening and one in the morning. So you must book. It costs $15, and we basically take you through all the main styles of nappies, and we also give you opportunity to try and feel them and try them on dolls and things like that. But it's essential that you book because there are limited spaces. So you can contact us on 0800 868 726 and book your place.
And tell me about cloth nappies. Easy, difficult?
Easy. There's no difference. I mean, when you've got a nappy like this that looks nothing, there's no extra parts. It goes on the baby exactly the same as a disposable. It's simple. It
is. It's exactly that. Thank you so much for joining us, Kate. It's simple. Babies are just simple. Right, after the break, we're finding out about children and developmental difficulties and how the Mackenzie Centre is dealing with those.